Hello guys, how are you doing? This video is here to fill the gap between my videos about Yakuza. So I talked of a classic game that I always wanted to make a video about, Superman 64. You know, that game with the stupid story of saving your friends who are trapped in a virtual world. This was so common a few years ago. I miss when computers were something new. Do you know the bad part of making videos about old games more than a decade after the popularization of YouTube? It's doing something different from what everyone else has already done. I mean, I knew a few things about this game before I played it, and I thought it would be difficult to say anything different about this game. But who would have thought that this freak would be able to surprise me? And speaking of surprises, check out a compliment to Superman 64. The first thing I expected is that this game would be pretty ugly, but no, the map of this city is big and the Superman model is very well done, but these are the only good design choices the game made. Don't get used to it. I'm not a huge fan of Superman, but I'm sure he has better enemies than robots and guys in leather trench coats. These guys just do the same attack all the time, so I couldn't care less about them. Most of the time I just ignored all the enemies of this game. And speaking of bad design choices, let's talk about them. The rings. The game sometimes alternates between normal missions, such as defeating enemies and protecting people, and flying missions. Make no mistake, doing this is very difficult. The controls are horrible, and this is something you only notice when you are playing the game. The worst part is that these missions are completely useless. They only exist to take you from one mission to another, but I don't understand why this exists. They could have just made an open world game. You would be free to fly around the map, and the silly missions would be side quests, and the longer missions would be the main story. That's what every game has done for the last, I don't know, 13 years? This only exists to make the game last longer, as much of the gameplay is just flying around, which adds a good few hours to the game. But I'm going to give a controversial opinion now. The rings are not the worst part of the game. Yes, the rings are not the worst part of Superman 64. I think most people criticize the rings because they haven't played the entire game, and they are right. I'm the only stupid guy doing this in 2024. The rings are the first annoying part of the game, so it's normal for people to say that, oh, the rings are the worst part of this game. But well, now I have a point to prove to you, so let's get started.
In short time, your fate will be sealed, Superman.
As I said before, the game alternates between flying missions and silly missions to save people. I don't know why you need to save these people. Doesn't this game take place inside the digital world? They are not even real. Okay. Here you need to stop cars from running over innocent people, take a police car to the end of the street, escort a child skateboarding, just some very interesting things. All these missions would just be boring and forgettable if they at least worked properly. In the first mission, you only have 6 seconds to understand your objective and complete the mission. It's impossible to do this on the first try. In the second mission, if you are unlucky, Superman may simply give up holding the police car, and then this happens. Can you see how everything in this game was supposed to be simple, but the developers just wanted to complicate everything with useless missions and a short time to finish the useless missions. The entire first chapter of the game is based on this. flying missions and useless missions, full of problems where nothing works as it should. And it was when I reached the second chapter of the game that I realized that the rings are not the worst part of Superman 64. Here, you need to save a group of workers and deactivate some bombs around the map. And the timer is even honest, but let's go. Now we have a list of problems to see. First, you can defeat the enemies by holding them and throwing them, but they explode, and this explosion causes damage to you, and the distance they fall after being thrown is always enough for the explosion to hit you, so you need to throw an enemy and move away. Second, the game is extremely superficial. It never tells you anything. It just says, deactivate the bombs, find the workers, use the computer. Okay, but how should I deactivate the bomb? Hitting them? Throwing them away? Using heat vision? Freezing them? Wait, yes, freezing them. Third, this is the most ridiculous boss fight I ever seen in my life. Superman and the boss just keep hitting each other with these weird blows until someone is defeated. I don't even know if the boss became like this because he was dying or because of a glitch. I really don't know. Fourth, the game map is completely broken. I got stuck outside the map completely by accident, and when I came back, this was how Superman was. Fifth, Superman is the slowest superhero in the world. Just take a look at how fast this stupid guy walks. These missions are absolutely not fun. Not that the rest of the game is fun, but to be honest, with some time you understand how the ring controls work, and I even managed to complete some roads very quickly sometimes and with time to spare. Controlling Superman fighting is much worse, and die because a stupid robot exploded in your hand is much more annoying than the rings. After this mission, you go back to the routine of saving people and flying. Are you have fun? And thanks to this, the game becomes extremely boring very fast. Do you understand now why I said if this were an open world game and these missions were just side quests, this game would be better? Everything here is useless. Like this, I need to protect a woman. I don't know who she is and I don't even care about her. And why is she walking on the top of a building? In this other mission, I need to protect these two skaters and I don't care about them. They are part of a digital world. They have no life. And look, this mission tries to explain to me what happened here. I'm serious, if you understand any of this, please explain to me. The game follows this rule. A chapter alternating between flying and saving people, and a chapter within some structure. So go ahead, decide your favorite kind of suffering. It may seem like I'm trying to take it easy with this game, but seriously, I swear, the rings didn't irritate me as much as the other missions. Nothing works. Combat doesn't work. Flying doesn't work. Holding enemies doesn't work. Powers don't work. Nothing in this game works. And the missions don't make sense. Up to this point in the game, I have already done 2 missions that in theory should be important to the story. You know, those missions where you are not flying around the city, and I have no idea what happened in them. I know that in the first one I froze bombs, and that in the one I did before this new arc about flying and saving people, Lex Luthor spoke to me on the webcam, I wrote his name on the computer and I finished the mission. The game just can't make me care about the game. Seriously, I just did a mission that I think should be important a few minutes ago, and I don't know anything about what happened on it. I'm almost halfway through the game, and the only information I have is this: 3 chapters flying around the city, and 2 chapters following the main story. And one of them was so irrelevant that I don't even know how to highlight anything memorable about it. I'm sorry. Look at this boss fight. It's ridiculous! 3rd chapter following the main story. This chapter is chaos. Here you need to save Lois Lane, but then she's captured again, so you need to find a card to save her again, defeat this thing that I think is a robot. Yeah, I think it's a robot. And she's kidnapped again! What is this? Resident Evil 4? This part of the game is very complicated because she disappears out of nowhere. In this level you can also fight a giant robot, if I can call that a fight. And then I found her with the kidnappers on the other side of this room. She doesn't look like she needs help. You solve the puzzle and then you need to protect Lois until the end of the level, and oh my god, can you please be faster? This mission is a pain. Lois walks very slowly and you can't go ahead, clearing the path for her to pass safely, because if you go too far, she will stop walking, and if you leave her alone for too long, she simply starts to be attacked by an enemy that wasn't there before. Go ahead, tell me that flying through the rings is worse than this. More missions to fly around the sea. This part of the game has nothing special, just this mission with the plane where Superman was thrown into the top of the map for no reason. This is a well-made game. Oh my god, this mission is the worst so far. The map is huge, and as the information is never clear enough, I get lost all the time here. These walls are always so the same, goddamn! And to make things worse, you need to go back and forth from one point to another all the time. First, you save this ugly boy. He says you need a card to deactivate the robot, so you take the card and go back to the same room to actually save it. And note that the only information I had about where the card was about it being in a black car, which would be useful if we weren't in a parking lot. Now you need to defuse a bomb, but I won't look for any cards. I'm going to run into this wall because I know it has no physics, and then I end up in the same room as the bomb without much effort. I love this game. Now another pathetic boss fight. Like 5 or 6 punches and Darkseid is defeated, yay! To make all this even more embarrassing, you now need to take him to the police and be careful with the walls, oh my god! Look into my eyes, and tell me the rings are the worst part of this game. You already know. Level of flying and rescuing people. Man, I hate the design of these guys. This mission is not that difficult. You need to free a scientist who is being trapped by the purple guy here. So you keep going back and forth, picking up items to open doors. You lock the boss in this room and stay there, you idiot. And finally, we free the scientist. This is the only level that didn't make me crazy with rage. Things are quite simple to understand here, and the scenario is not that ugly, but this is still Superman 64. Hey, look at me here, getting stuck in nothing. This level is a complicated case. I didn't really understand what happened here. I flew to the subway tunnel, and when I came back there was a giant robot again. I was hitting him and the camera suddenly was at this weird angle. I thought the game was broken, but then I saw it was a cutscene and I passed the level. Okay, thank you, I think. At this point in the game, I already had no energy to do anything. I even ignored this guy screaming for help, because if I am in a virtual world, these people aren't real people. Last level, and oh my god, I suffered a lot here. First, you need to find 10 pieces of... I don't know what this is. All the pieces are scattered around the map randomly. I must have spent almost an hour on this. After that, you need to destroy these machines and solve a puzzle that I also didn't understand. I just kept going in and out of these portals until this happened. Be strong, the game's almost over. After that, you need to freeze Lois and this ugly boy from the other level, so they don't die from those rays. This part is terrible. The ice blocks slide all the time, so it's impossible to control them correctly. Oh no, this crap fell again! After that, you fight the last boss. That was the fight. And you still need to explode 3 bombs that are hidden in the map. This is the stupidest ending I ever seen. The last level was disgusting. Everything here is too complicated. Everything is slow. Nothing works. And that's the problem with this game. Nothing works. The game is simply completely broken. The animations are ugly. Powers are difficult to control. Enemies seem afraid of you. Things get stuck on the map all the time. I must have fallen off the map 3 or 4 times during this video. Everything here is broken. The game can't even explain to me how the missions work. Maybe because they don't work. If this game was just an open world, flying around and saving people, this would just be a forgettable game. But nothing, absolutely nothing in this game is working. So, unless you spent 3 days of your life playing this game like I did and going through these disgusting levels, never say to me again that the rings are the worst part of this game. And you know what? People are right to only know about the rings. Already in the 5 minutes of the game, a normal person should know not to continue playing this garbage. I finished this game feeling tired. I've played horrible things to make videos, but nothing has ever come close to making me as mad as Superman 64 did. I've played most of the games in my iceberg of bad games, and none of them left me as exhausted as this one. I have never felt angry about a video game in my life. This was the first time. Congratulations, Superman! Anyone who played this of their own free will deserves an award. So that's it. Enjoy your lives and never ask me to play this again. Like, subscribe, you already know what to do. May God bless us all.